gosh. Okay. So, hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm glad you guys are all here. This is actually a funny situation. We recorded this already, but life had other plans for what we had going on. So, the conversation will go how it flows today. We have our wine. Thankfully I still had wine left, so
there you go.
I'm gonna get started. Oh, I'm telling you guys, this Vinvac is absolutely amazing because my wine is still fresh.
Wow. Okay.
Like it is vacuum sealed like a cork.
Oh, okay. I like it. Amazon?
Total Wine and More.
Okay.
Really?
So I will make sure that you ladies get a pack of those.
Thank you.
Got my wine. Look at those legs.
Cheers. Salud.
Cheers.
I haven't even poured my wine, ladies.
Amy.
Louise. Okay, hold on.
Come on, Amy.
All right. Let's go.
All right. Cheers. Salud. This still tastes like a good meal.
Don't start. I have not had dinner. Don't start talking about food.
Oh my goodness. Kiana, I hope we don't get the hangry Amy tonight.
Oh my God. I think I unleashed it to the boys right now. If you would have heard my household 5 minutes ago.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was rough.
Oh no. Sorry, son.
Imagine.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go ahead, introduce yourselves, and let everybody know what you guys do.
I'll start first. I'm Nautica de la Cruz, a radio personality here in Los Angeles. Also do finances. I am a mom. I am a sister. I am single and ready to mingle.
Woo!
Hi, I'm Amy Lopez, and first and foremost, I'm a mom. I work at the VA, so I work with the veterans. I am a baseball mom. If anybody out there knows what travel baseball life is like, you have no life other than baseball. And I'm also a co-host of a podcast called FrequenShe Podcast with Miss Nautica de la Cruz.
Yes.
And it's where we go to vent and talk about whatever pops into our head at any given moment.
And I've heard the podcast and it is always a good time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We try. We some days are lighter than others. Some we try to help people with their problems, even though I don't even know if we really.
I don't know if we help
their problems. But we just say what we need to say. We get it off our chest. We do a podcast weekly for 20 minutes and we move on.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've helped people though, because everything that you consume, you take in the good and the bad. So whether it's, something good that they got from it, whether it's maybe something that may have been small to you, it might have been big to them that they needed to hear. So just keep doing what you're doing because you really don't know who you are helping. And I just found that out, recently. It's like, wow, the more I do this, the more people are like, oh, when you said this, it really did help me. And it's just like, I'm just talking about my own life experience.
Well, I think, Amy and I, we've been through a lot as grown women. And I think every week, we add a little element of something that we've gone through that we could say as an example. It's not always that way because sometimes they write in and we haven't been in those shoes or those predicaments, but we may know somebody that knows somebody or a friend of a friend. And, we try to come up with, I don't want to say solutions, but I want to say kind of a diagram of this is what could happen if you go this way. And this is what could happen if you go this way. So, but at the end of the day, it is up to the person who writes in. It is their life. It is their decision.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the good thing about having these podcasts and having women share their stories is that, like you said, people take what they need to make their own decision. It may be something totally irrelevant, but that triggers the scale to, it's like, okay, that's exactly what I needed to hear. And I was right, or my intuition was right. or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Nautica have shared that we're kind of vaults to people. People like to just divulge their whole life stories to us, and we are vaults. You know, we don't share stories unless we're given the okay to, but
Mm-hmm.
we are always willing to share, you know, a similar story. So we won't give names, we won't say, you know, so and so did this, but we can always say, hey, you know, I know someone who went through that, and it's, you know, X, Y, and Z, and just in hopes that it'll help somebody else. You know, someone's trauma will likely help someone else's trauma, I guess you can say.
Right.
Yeah.
As weird as it sounds, two negatives make a positive. I don't know.
I agree.
Yep. I definitely agree with that as well. I know originally we had gone through, you know, a whole different situation of things, and I was thinking back on just our conversation. And even that conversation kind of helped me a little bit with thinking about certain things within myself. And I was just like, you know what? We're just gonna we're gonna flow today, because I did like that. I did like that you know, you specifically pinpoint about me being a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and yes.
Oh, we're doing this FrequenShe style, are we?
Oh yeah.
So, all right. I guess so. Come on, let's do this.
Let's go. We got this down.
And that really, you know, it really hit home with me, because I had to go and think about that. And I was like, oh crap, let me text my therapist now and let her know, like, I need to talk. I need to talk, because I still find myself in those same patterns.
Mm-hmm.
With wanting to please people. It's like, and I like to, for whatever reason, I like to give more than I receive sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And from the very beginning, it's like I could just meet you, get a good vibe from you, and then it's just like here, and then I'm giving more than I'm receiving, and then wonder why I feel empty.
Yeah, but that drains energy too, Kiana.
Yeah.
Kiana, I've known you since you were, I don't know, 12, 13, maybe 14. I'm not sure, but I really didn't get to know who you were until you became a mother, and you start seeing patterns. And there is this quote, and I've heard it many times before, like, no one likes a people pleaser because no one likes to hear a yes, 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 yes. And sometimes people want to hear a no because they want to fight that battle with you of how you're going to turn that no into a yes.
Unless you're a narcissist.
Unless you're a narcissist, which Kiana is not.
God, no, unless you're a narcissist and then you want all the yes.
Yeah.
No, Kiana is not a narcissist. I can vouch for that. But you know, you got to stand your ground, Kiana. And I know Amy will add on to this, but you got to stand your ground. You gotta be firm, and but do it sternly. You know, don't do it this way. Do it saying, no, I'm not going to be able to, or I don't think it's possible. And then, you know, when you have your posture and your reaction, people go, okay, I'm not going to ask again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're uncertain about something, then you could say, let me get back with you. I'm not certain about that right now. But you got to learn how to say no. You can't 40, 50, 60 and still not learning how to say no, because that drains your energy.
It drains you. Yeah. You're like a sponge, you know, and yeah, Nautica and I can soak up vibes like there's no tomorrow. Like we'll catch a vibe before we even get your name. You know, we're like, yeah, I don't need to know your name, but all right, whatever. We're super cordial. We'll always smile. We'll say hello, nice to meet you, but that doesn't mean you're going to be part of my life. I wanted to add to what Nautica said. It's like, you have to be firm. And I keep saying this over and over again. You don't have to give a reason for your answer. Everybody's so inclined to, it's like, hey, no, I have plans. Hey, no, I think that I'm going to be working that day. It's none of their business why you're saying no. The answer is no, you know, maybe next time. That is it. You know, and the less excuses, because it's an excuse, right? The less excuses, the more validation you're giving to your answer. You're just like, no, I'm good. Thanks. I'll pass.
Yeah.
And you can make joke out of it if you're just first starting. You know, it's like, no, you know, not for me. Thanks. See you later.
I was talking to a friend about that, and she was saying, she said she noticed, that with me, that a lot of the time I won't say no to people because it's just like, oh, I don't want them to feel bad. And she's like, you constantly put other people's feelings, ahead of yours. And she said, it's not until you get really pissed off that it's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
So then the delivery comes out wrong because it's just like, no. And I don't want to, and forget you because, but I have to stop shielding other people and shield myself.
Yeah.
And that's where the struggle comes in, because it's like, when people have gotten used to one thing and you try to do something different, it's just like, well, I don't like this person.
No, people don't like a different version.
Yeah.
People are like, wait a minute. Then they call you crazy, right? They're like, where the hell is this coming from? Why are you mad at me? Because you don't seem to get the answer. That's why. Said no in every which way, and you keep pushing it.
But you can definitely start with baby steps. Start with baby steps. Maybe the people that you always say yes to all the time, give them a no.
Yeah.
And then they may look at you crazy and go, Kiana said what? Like, nah. But yeah, no. And you know what? Sometimes everybody's energy is not good energy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes even your closest friends, we have to also acknowledge that. Like, you are not going to be help to someone if they're going through something and you're going through something. You can't shut down your own emotions and your own feelings to be there for someone else all the time. There are obviously sometimes where it's like, I didn't get enough sleep, but I'm going to be there for you, even though I'm tired. But when you're going through something and they're going through something, you also have to be like, hey, I'm not in the right headspace right now to even be of assistance to you, because I have so much going on and I don't want my advice for you to be reflected on what I'm going through. Because right now I am like anti-men, and you're sitting here with your friend that's like, I've had it. He doesn't put his boxers in the hamper. And you're just like, divorce him.
And it's so funny because that is the straw that breaks the camel's back a lot of the time. It's like a pile up of stuff, and it's that damn sock that's on the floor that's just like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I don't want this anymore. And it was all the other stuff. It had nothing to do with the sock that was on the floor.
Yeah, but they always take to the last thing. The straw that broke the camel's back. It's like, they're overreacting because all I did was this. It's like, yeah, that's all you did that one time. But let's go back. Let's pull out those receipts.
And Amy's doing them out. Receipts.
I got receipts for days.
Oh yeah,
I don't like.
You can call me an accountant.
Come join the dark side with me.
Save a whole accounting firm.
Right?
Yeah, people don't like receipts at all. They be like, wait a minute. And you're like, That's why I like iPhone, because iPhone don't get rid of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I remember what you said on November 1st, 2003.
Yeah.
At 8:49 a.m.
Yep. You're like, it's going to take me a while to go load those old messages, but they're going to be there.
Yeah. Actually, I found a shortcut. If you remember, okay, so on the search bar, if you remember like really like a good sentence from that conversation, you can put it immediately.
Yeah, if you get a quote of that conversation.
Yes.
And we all know women remember quotes.
Oh, girl, do we?
It's like, no. What you said was
yes.
And that's my problem. I'm the queen of holding on to stuff. And then sometimes I'll like, and it's not that I'm arguing, I just replay the conversation in my head sometimes. And it's like, well, I should have said this way. Or
that's
maybe
the worst.
I know. I think we're all victims of that, Kiana. Like, I think once the situation or whatever the conversation or the situation or what it, is done with, you go back and you're like, fuck, I should have said this, or I should have jabbed him with this, or I should have, but then you're like, well, it's done. What's done is done. I can't go back. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Oh, because when it comes to writing shit down, Nautica goes, my fingers, it's like, move aside. Like,
that is so true. That is.
and I could just like, what?
Yeah.
You would rather me not say anything at all. Don't keep asking me how I'm feeling when I'm telling you I want space. Because when I want space, at least for me, I need time to process my feelings, because if I unleash, I'm going to say things that I probably won't be able to take back.
No, you can't take it back.
They're not going to be lies. I don't lie, but they won't be delivered in a polished way for you to receive them. Like they're going to go for the jugular.
Yeah.
So it's like, just give me my space. Let me process what I'm feeling. And when I'm ready, I'll talk to you.
And
that's why I don't like to be mad.
Yeah. And that's really important. Amy's really good at that, at waiting to process. And I think I've learned that a lot too from Amy, because, you know, there were times where I needed to respond to an email and I would be like, and she's like, okay, take a minute, take a beat, hold on. And I'm like, hyperventilating. Okay. All right, let's think about this. And then, you know, but sometimes you need to take a beat, a long beat, and really process that moment.
I think the worst is when you do take that break to process and you think of the kindest way to say something, and that person still will find a way to make it negative.
Narcissist.
Yeah.
I will throw out the narcissist card. Where are my flashcards? I'm just going to lift it up. Let me tell you, you know what? We should also mention that all of us are firm believers on mental health and seeking therapy.
Yeah,
we have all seen therapy and we all have therapists and they have been great. And I take every chance to tell people that if you're trying it for the first time and you're just like, I didn't like it, try again, try again, because it's like dating. It's not until you find the right person that you're going to feel comfortable enough to open up to that it's going to be effective. But a lot of people try one person, and because they didn't like it, they're like, it's not for me. You know, I'm not
exactly.
Like keep out there, you know, get referrals from people, you know.
Yeah.
It's
no, I agree.
It's not as taboo as it used to be.
No, not at all.
Because people used to think if you went to therapy, you were crazy. And it's like, but, and I tell people all the time, to an extent, I am crazy, because sometimes the thoughts that go through my brain are like, you need help. Yes, I do need help. This is why I see someone that helps me be rational.
Too, but you know, sometimes we have moments like if I'm upset, I'll think of something that's not that nice. And then I'll sit there and I'll go, you know what? Rebuke, delete. No. And I talk to myself a lot. Like, you know, I say things like, you know what, Nautica, get your life together. All right, come on. Like, you know, snap out of it. Or, you know, there are some times that I just need to sit down and write in my journal, because I don't want to tell Amy, or I don't want to tell anybody, my mom or my best friend. I think I write in my journal almost every night, because one, it's free therapy. I let go of what I don't want to take to bed with me.
Right.
And I try to put it away, even though, yes, our minds go rapid and sometimes our thoughts are not that nice, but I don't think we do it to be evil. I think it's just the emotions.
No, I agree. And the emotions get heightened when you care. And I think that's where a lot of people don't, you know, have the disconnect, because they don't know how to say, okay, you care, I care, we're both here. We need to bring it down here before we end up here. And I think that's the hard part.
It is hard, but you also are human and you are allowed to be emotional sometimes. And sometimes you need to let it out when you are angry. You know, because a lot of times, like you say, you over process it and you soften it so much that it doesn't seem as important to us as it originally was, because now
And
we're
it
calm
sometimes
and
feels disingenuous.
yes. So sometimes it's good to don't let so much time pass by to where you have already kind of gotten over it or out of
Right.
sight, out of mind, to where when you're having that conversation, I've been guilty of it where I'm just like, you know what, forget about it. Like it's done, you know, we've moved past it, but we really haven't moved past it. I just set it aside. You know, I don't
Yeah.
want to get worked up again. So it's just like, you know what, forget about it. So, I mean, if it's important to you, like Nautica said, write it down, you know, and get it off your chest. And it's a lot easier to read back that letter to someone. And I think I said it in the first attempt at our recording. It's a lot easier to write down what you want to say. And when you are meeting with someone and wanting to have a tough conversation, you tell them like, look, respect me enough to let me get through what I want to say without cutting me off. And then we can go back, because
I agree.
everyone's so quick to defend themselves at any given moment, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's what most people don't understand about therapy is it is a good release. And it does, and the right therapist will hold you accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's my biggest thing. It's like, okay, tell me, am I wrong? Because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. But tell me how, you know, what would have been the best way to handle it at the same time. And that's what a lot of people don't want. They don't want to hear they're wrong. They don't want to hear, okay, well, you could have handled it, you know, this way. These would have been better options than, you know, what you did. And I know for myself, once I get to the point where I feel like, you know, a person doesn't care and you're just being disrespectful of my feelings, that's when it's just like, now it's a whole nother level of anger out of me. And like I said, you know, I'm mixed with two sides of crazy. So.
But you know, Kiana, what I like is, from what I'm hearing, is that you are, you know, I'm glad that your therapist is helping you be accountable, but also you're receiving, you're receptive to her criticism, or I should say her therapy, as in, well, you could have handled it like A, B, and C, and maybe this could have been the outcome. You know, we always don't have the answers right there and then, and sometimes we have to think quick in order to react or not react. But you know, it's called growth, and we're all still growing. I mean, I'm 50, I'm still learning and growing, you know, and I think that that's just the way life is. You know, you handle things as best as you can. Sometimes the outcomes are great and sometimes the outcomes are not that great, but you know, it's the way you handle it, the way you receive it, the way you give it, and the way you process.
It's like when people say, oh, well, if I was in that situation, I would have done this. And it's like, have you ever been in that situation? No. Then how do you know you would do that? Because I've said a whole lot of things where if I was in that situation, I would have done something. And then I found myself in certain situations and I did not do anything like I said I would.
I mean, we always want to believe that we would always be the bigger person, right? We always want to hold ourselves to that higher standard. Like I would never do this. I would never give up on my marriage, you know, but till you find yourself in that situation and understand and go through therapy and figure it out, it's like sometimes it's not giving up. It's like you're rescuing yourself from a situation that's not benefiting anybody. You know, and I'm a firm believer on now, you know, after being where I've been through, is that staying together for the kids is not the right answer.
No.
You know, my son has thrived. You know, no one's gonna say it's not tough. You know, it's tough at the beginning. It's tough to have those conversations, especially with younger children. Older children are more aware.
Right.
You would think that the older children are more aware, and they are. You know, they have more details to the story. But the younger kids are more observant. So you would, like, the teenagers know what's happening, and based on TV and social media, they're like, oh shit, like that's bad.
Right.
But the younger kids are listening. So the teenagers are caught up in their own stuff, but the younger babies and what would you call school children, elementary school age children, those are the ones that are observing and feeling, vibes and energy in a household. And, the amount of stuff that they actually know without knowing is just crazy. It's mind-blowing to me.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
You want to teach them, that everyone deserves to be happy. And it doesn't need to be a nasty situation, but you need to be honest. You can't, my mom says you can't, God, what's the translation? It's basically like you can't cover the sun with your thumb.
Oh yeah.
It's like like the shine's still gonna shine, the light's still gonna shine all around it. Like the truth is gonna come out. So be as kind with your truth as you need to be, but be honest and open about a situation.
Definitely. I know you and I, Nautica, were having a conversation, about our soulmates a lot of the time being our best friends. And a lot of the time we are looking, for romantic, situations, and that's fine. But I was listening to, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the podcast, but they were talking about how they had a therapist on, or a relationship coach. I don't remember what she is. I think she's a teacher. She was something, but she was talking about, people being single. And she said it's such a stigma on it nowadays that people don't take the time to, think like single people are probably happier than people in relationships because they are surrounded by genuine love from their friends, from their family, things like that, versus people in relationships who are putting in more work to get an outcome that a lot of times that they're not getting. And, she was saying that if you have love, then it shouldn't be a problem whether you have someone romantically or not. She's like, it really doesn't, it shouldn't be the focal point as long as you do have that love. She said, but a lot of the times when it comes to women, we have more love come from our, female relationships than we do from, the male counterpart. She said, because think about it, when you get sad, your girlfriend is more likely to send you some flowers and something to eat just because they want to make you feel better. Whereas your partner will be like, oh, I'm sorry you feel like that, and go on about their day. And when I thought about it in hindsight, it was like, dang, that's true. Your girlfriend is quick to be like, hey, let's go out. I'm taking you out. Let's go do this.
Well,
your girlfriends date you more.
That's funny you say that, because I saw this TikTok which made me laugh. It was like in this TikTok about women should just marry women, even if you don't like women in the bedroom, because you're there for each other. You know what I mean? You comfort each other. And I have to say that that yes, sometimes you could be in a marriage, but you could be in a marriage but single. You could be in a marriage but you are a single mom, because yes, the father is there, but the father is not present, and there's a difference. And yes, your girlfriends, whether they're married or whether they're single, whether they're engaged or whether they're in a relationship, women understand each other because we go through the same emotions, and we want to see, at least me, I want to see my friends thrive. And I like that I have a great village that, whether it's by my IG post or me not posting, they're like, what's going on? Like, right. Amy's really good at that. Like, who the fuck?
I can smell the bullshit a mile away.
She can. I don't care how really good at that.
On a Monday.
Yes,
I'll be like, get the hell out of here. What's going on?
Amy's really good at that. But I think we just understand each other a little bit more now, unless you have a man that can be in his feminine energy with you, you know, obviously you want to be in your feminine energy and you want your man to be in his masculine energy, but there are some men that really truly care and that are emotionally mature to handle what's going on with their partner. Because sometimes you have a partner and you're telling them about your day and they're like, yeah, and you're going, are you freaking listening to me?
Yeah.
I want to vent to you, and then I want you to say, you know what, today was a fucked up day, but come here, let me give you a hug and a kiss, and you know, make everything feel better. That at least makes me feel better. You know why? Because I was heard. I was heard about how the day was, or what this girl did, or you know, or what she said, or how she messed up this meeting. But you know, as far as single women, I really think that because there's so much bullshit out there, it is a septic tank, a wasteland, pool of just trashy men here, especially in LA. I'm just saying. It's, you know, why deal with the bullcrap when you could be single, happy by yourself, live your own life.
You know what?
Don't worry about taking care of anybody.
Yeah, but I'd like to also add, and you know me, I'm devil's advocate here.
Yes.
Like, I'm all for women, but also there's women out there that are fucking shit up for everybody else. Like,
they are
making shit way too fucking easy for these grimy ass men to get away with shit. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, stop selling yourself so damn short. That, you know, when you finally catch on to this person's freaking douchiness and kick them back into this cesspool of rotting fish, like Nautica says,
right?
Then someone else has to pick up the stink, you know? It's and like, oh, wait, homegirl, I got away with it with homegirl for however many years. Like, why isn't this okay with you? It's like, because it's not.
No.
Yeah.
You know, and
then there are some good guys out there that were ruined by shitty women.
Yes.
And then
1000%.
the good woman has to, you know, deal with that hurt, that his trauma that he went through because you ruined him for someone that really would have cared about him.
Yeah. And I will say that there are a lot of men that have childhood issues that they have not worked through, whether it's with their father or with their mother, and then later on they bring that into the relationship, and that's what messes it all up, whether it's abandonment, whether it's abuse, whether it's narcissism. And unless you can identify that and go to therapy and go, this is what's happening to me, I want to fix it, I want to work on it, you know, you're bringing that to your relationship, and it's just going to be set up to fail.
Yeah. I just don't think that men as well as women have that, and I think it's just personality traits that have that know-how of, okay, what's the common denominator here? Like, I can't just have all these people calling me crazy, like, you know, this guy calling, all my exes are freaking crazy, they're psychos because of X, Y, and Z. And then in retrospect, you're like, oh, they weren't so freaking crazy. You know, it's like, it just took me longer to see it. But it's in the same thing for women. You know, it's like, oh, why aren't you in a stable relationship? All these men, you know, they're crazy or they're manipulative or whatever. It's like, no, you were free. Like, let's go back. You know, what did he say was the issue? Oh, he said that this and this and this. It's like, okay, what did the other guy say? He said this and this. And I was like, okay, well, who's the common denominator? These are two different guys, both having the same issue.
Exactly.
Like, you know, it's just self-reflection, I think, and growing up, right? Once I think people start to realize and try to fix things, once it's a little too late. So once you are unfortunately getting up there in age and realizing, hey, I don't want to be alone. I'm not for these streets, right?
Right? Oh my God.
that they start like, oh shit, okay, well, let me get off my high horse and let me see if I can find someone who's even in the same mindset and same age group, right? And that's why you have all these older people, cougars and men going after younger guys, because they're just looking for validation, and they just keep wanting that validation without actually fixing what the issue is. They just want someone oohing and ahhing over them. It's like,
I agree.
You're freaking messing some people up.
Going back to, even what you were saying about, the energy, Yana Van Zant was on, you guys aware of the Tonight's Conversation podcast?
Oh, you know what? I have seen advertisement about it, but I've never heard it. I've just seen clips. Is it good?
Oh, so good.
Okay.
So good. Keita Rose is my favorite, but I like Kitty as well. They're both amazing. And it's a mix of male and female, and but now they're on tour and they have people asking questions. And they are absolutely, but they had Iyanla Van Zandt on there, and she was saying, everything that you receive is based off your energy. She's like, if you're down here, of course, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get all the energy that's down here. People are only going to give you, but when you're here, you're always going to bring in, she said, and you have to work to have the energy that's up here. And I've noticed that, even with myself, like when I'm vibrating, high, oh my gosh, days are going great. Lights are in my favor. People are, flowing the way I need them to flow. But when I'm off, everything is off. Like everything is off.
Okay.
And it's hard because it takes intentional work to vibrate that high.
Yeah.
Start off with coffee.
Right.
I wish I could start off with a mimosa.
Don't we all first thing in the morning?
Oh,
but
man.
No, we can't. No, we can't.
Nautica and I, talking about mimosas, Nautica and I really like these pineapple mimosas that are ready to go from Aldi.
Yeah. Oh, they're ready? They're in town?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's right around spring that they start coming back.
Okay, well,
but
I'm
it's
going
literally
to
a bottle ready to go, pineapple mimosa. And not to throw us under the bus, but Nautica had one. I had one once. We had an encounter with a raccoon.
Oh yes! Oh, I so remember that night. But I will tell you, it is a good way. I think it was a Saturday or a Sunday? We decided to chill by the pool and then finish. Yeah, then we had an encounter with the raccoon, which Amy kept yelling at, and it wasn't scared of Amy. I could just tell you that much.
Well, because Nautica was just sitting back like, Amy, it's looking at me. I was like, well, what do you want me to do? Like,
oh God.
It was one of those you had to be there moments. But
that's one of those you'll forever remember that moment and laugh at it.
Amy, Nautica, and the raccoon. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had some, and
Costco has a good pre-made mimosa too.
Who does?
Who?
Costco.
Oh, okay. Let me write that down.
Their Kirkland tequila is actually, in my eyes, one of the best tequilas.
Really?
Yes. Surprisingly, super affordable, great tequila. I think I like it more than some premium brands.
Really? Okay, I gotta try it. So my judge on alcohol is if I can drink as much as I can drink, and then I wake up the next morning and I'm only drunk and not like I got a headache, it's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't mind waking up still drunk. That part doesn't bother me. It's just like, well, gotta keep pushing.
Yeah.
Give me another one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think going.
I think that the headaches usually come when you mix. When you mix things, or when you have really sugary drinks.
They do.
Because then you dehydrate your body. And then you try to, you're replenishing it, but with alcohol, and that's just not going to work.
Which is why I'm a big sparkling champagne person, because there's not as much sugar in it.
Okay. And
she told us about a drink. What was it that you told us to drink the other day?
Oh, the Código Rosa tequila and Prosecco.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the
tequila with
with champagne.
Yes.
Yes. So good. got me over here happy
Look at
dancing.
her.
So good.
She's like, okay.
She's like, let's do it.
So now when I come out there to hang out with you guys, I have to bring the mixture so that way.
Text that to me, Kiana, later. Text that to me so I could, when I go to Costco or whatever you said.
Yeah, just make sure that somebody has a bed so that way I can sleep it off for a minute.
Yeah, we got sofa.
We got beds.
We got it. We're good. We're good.
But I thank you guys. This was good. This was good.
Welcome. This was good. It's always good to get around like-minded people. You know.
Yes.
And really share similar stories and how we can help.
And I think I like that you two are very vocal.
We are. That's been a problem in the past.
We are. And you know, I've always said my mouth has gotten me far, but has also gotten me in trouble many times. Right. But you know, Kiana, at the end of the day, I think if I don't say what I need to say, I feel like I'm gonna get an ulcer. And I would rather spit it out and say it before it just really fucks with my head.
Right.
And I'm also, I know something that I've learned in my older years is I was always very quick. But then someone told me that, you know, when you spit out, you never consider other people's feelings. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm trying to be more diligent and more nicer in my delivery of when I'm upset to communicate. And I think I've done much better. But I don't want to also be that person that goes, I want to just say this, but you know, but still, you know, still find a way. And you know, it's growth. You know, working on yourself, right. Healing is something that you have to work on every single day. You know, I know that we all have good days, we have great days, and we have not so good days, but you know, we just, at the end of the day, I just want to be a good human being and live as long as I could live and, you know, see my daughter grow and become a wonderful human being. And then, you know, rise onto the sunset.
I love that.
Yeah. You know, like you said, Nautica, there's a difference between being honest and then being hurtful.
Right.
And you could be honest and be hurtful. So a lot of people protect themselves by saying, well, I'm just honest. It is what it is. I say what I say. Like, yeah, you know, you can take pride in being honest, but the way you say things, you know, is completely different. And knowing when to bite your tongue, knowing when it's your place to speak, is a talent that comes, I think, with age. And having good friends, you know, that'll call you out and it's like, hey, like, I get what you were trying to tell me, but this is how that made me feel. And I think that we do the most growth from the feedback that we get from those friends that we are brutally honest with, you know, and that's where we start kind of channeling our energies for those other people. So, you know, it all goes based on the people you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with assholes, you'll be smelling like shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Love it. Go, Kiana. That's a good closer.
And if it doesn't work, what was the other quote? Nautica, chuck it in the fuck it bucket.
Yes. Oh my God. We haven't used that one in a minute. Oh my God. Yes. We did a podcast called that, right? Didn't we? It was really,
but you guys came up with a great topic for your podcast, you know, dealing with, you know, those hard conversations with your friends, because, oh boy.
Yeah. If you have the right people, they're easy conversations to have.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah. So just get yourself a good circle and you'll be fine. That's the challenge.
I think my circle is really like the one that I have now. And it took me years, some years, because me and women were not, we just didn't mesh very well. Because I feel like I was choosing wrong. I was, to an extent, and I can't believe I'm about to put this out there like that, but I felt like I was desperate for female friendship that I was just allowing anyone.
Oh, okay. It's honest.
And it happens.
Yeah. It happens. And now it's one of those where it's like, I'm going to let you in, but as soon as you show me you're not for me, I got to let you go.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'll give another chance because it's like, okay, maybe I was just being, a little too brash with how I received certain things or viewed certain things. But this group of women that I have now, they are absolutely amazing. So,
yeah, I had the same issue too growing up, and I think I still am, kind of a tomboy. I just have a better relationship with men. Like, I can talk to men about just about anything. I can talk sports. I can talk construction. I can fix shit. I was a daddy's girl and I followed my dad everywhere.
That
so
makes sense.
Growing up, I played baseball with boys up until high school, where they told me I had to play softball. And then that's really when I started having girls that became friends, and some of those girls are still some of my best friends now. And then again, I got another flock of friends and like a whole newfound family with my son, and the fact that he plays baseball, and that baseball family is just like ride or die.
Right.
They're there at the drop of a dime for me and Mateo. So I think it's okay. Like you say, you yearn for that. I want to have girlfriends, but the right ones will come at the right time.
For sure.
If not, just have the guys. They're better security anyway.
Yeah.
Going out with the guys, nothing's going to happen to you.
I agree.
Exactly.
We'll let everybody know where they can find you guys.
You could find me on Instagram and Facebook at Nautica de la Cruz, NauticaDelacruz. And Amy will give you the rest with our podcast as well.
Our podcast, you can find us on all social media platforms, on all streaming sites at FrequenShe Podcast. If you guys want to find us or email us directly, you can email us at frequenshe@gmail.com.
And where can they find you, Amy Lopez?
You can't find me. If you find me, you're lucky. I'm like a golden goose. No, just kidding. I'm on social media platforms, Amy Lopez. If you do, my pages are private, but I do my scoping before I accept who's allowed to see my posts.
As you should. So my private page is private. Like, I have to know you.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, my baby is on there a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm very, and even sometimes with myself when I go to post stuff, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to post that. So I'm private. And people are like, yeah, but you're a public figure now. And I'm like, I'm really not. And people are like, no, you are.
Yeah, but we still have the choice to see how public we want to be.
Yes.
Look at Beyonce.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, she
Beyonce
had 2 bellies before anybody knew anything. Released an album before anybody knew anything.
Yeah.
It's like we can still pick and choose how we protect our circle.
Exactly. So I'm very private and I enjoy it. And even on my public page, I'm very selective about what I share.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us, Yana. It's been a pleasure. And I wish you nothing but success with your podcast and your wine gallery and your wine growth. And just thank you for having us. And I am very proud of the woman you are today.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
So much. Thank you so much for having us and making us feel comfortable, to be ourselves,
of course,
and not really have to tiptoe around subjects. And, maybe one time we could have you on the podcast with us.
Yes. I would love that. You just let me know.
Okay. Sounds
good. We'll set it up.
Awesome. We'll see you ladies soon. Have a great evening. Great rest of this week.
Yes.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers. Oh, salud.
Salud. All right.
Salud.
All right. Bye, guys.
Good night.
You blessed like an aged bottle of wine.